gonna shout till we're 6 feet over. We're gonna demonstrate something unusual. Come on, do that proclamation with us. Everybody do it, let's go. We're gonna turn the world upside down. We're gonna turn these people right side up. We're gonna shout till we're 6 feet over. We're gonna demonstrate something unusual. Come on! Something unusual.
I'm ready. All right. Is it working? Can you guys see me? Now I'm going to have to do a new link here, aren't I?
Yeah.
So let me see. I hope we didn't lose anyone. Is this it here? Sorry, everybody. We're just
Yes.
making sure you can actually see us because for
That's
no reason whatsoever. Yes, this is it. For absolutely no reason. It kicked us off of there. It's not the Wi-Fi. So I was trying to write in the comments, the devil doesn't want me talking to you today. He doesn't want me doing this any week. I mean, every week there's always something trying to stop me. There's always this. So anyway, I hope that you can see me. I know Rumble, you guys should be okay. How's everybody on Rumble over there? Can you see and hear okay? I'm going to make sure. Okay, everyone can see here. Wonderful. Okay, hi everybody in YouTube. I'm going to move this up a little bit if I can. There we go, so I can see your comments. Okay. Oh, yes, everybody's there. Wonderful. Oh, good. I was so worried I'd lost you. Because I have so much to share this week. My goodness. You guys have been so great with the emails. I just want to thank everybody who's emailed me. I've been wanting to read emails. And so we'll try to get to a few of those today. But I will at least acknowledge the people who have written in. I have gotten so much information from you. And it really is helping with perspective. I do want to say this about the Khazarian Mafia. I don't want anyone to think that I'm going in any of a kind of an anti-Semitic route, because that is the opposite of the truth. Because some people had expressed concern about that. Really, I was scrolling through Twitter. I have a memory of a prophecy. I saw an image that referred to this group that I'd never heard about. And I'm just having a look. And I don't know if that is what the prophecy is about, but it was, as all of you know and have been following in all your emails, you can see that image looks startlingly like what my dad saw. And it appears that there is some kind of a something going on. And if this is not in particular to the country or the people from that country, it's more that there's a group within there that could become troublesome. And so, as you know, I through that, because we've also got that name, my dad said, as you remember. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands that I'm looking at this. I don't know for sure if this is fulfilled or not, but it was startlingly. And you saw I showed Jackson Longmire last week. That is quite shocking. And so worthy of note, but certainly not any kind of, nothing against Jewish people in any way at all. If they happen to have some kind of a connection there, it either isn't real or I haven't got the full information. But your information that you have been sending me has been very interesting, because it appears that this group has had to remain underground, and so many of you have emailed me are like, yes, Johnny, that's it. They've had to remain underground and have sort of been erased from history, so that it is ambiguous, and perhaps on purpose. So I want to just cover that before. I'm not going to be talking too much about them this week, but I will come back to it, because I actually have so many emails that and so many links and information that I'm still researching. So if I find something that is leading me away from and towards that, I'm going to update you and let you know. So there's that. Now, okay, we need our scripture verse for today. So the scripture verse for today is Romans 12, verse 2. I read from the New King James Version. not exclusively, but I do like it. And it says, let me see, make sure you can see. Yeah, we go. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable will of God. And I've chosen the scripture verse today, not from reading the Bible, because it came into my memory and my spirit this morning when I asked God, what scripture verse am I going to share with them today? And as I've gone through this week, as far as watching the things that have been occurring around the world, which, as many of you know, has been so much this week, I realized there is uh, so much change happening around us and in the world, and so many things are deception and so many things are confusing. And this particular verse, specifically, be not conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of your mind. And oftentimes, like one thing that's come up lately is, why do we worship God and why do we sacrifice? Why does He need us to do that? And the conclusion that I have come to is that He doesn't need it. We need it. Let me explain. When I go and pray, oftentimes I'm weighted down with all my burdens and my problems, and I'm ready to say, God, why are you doing this to me? Or what? You get that, oh. And so what happens when you begin your time with God, worshiping Him? What are you doing when you do that? You're grateful, aren't you? You're going before Him and you're saying, thank you. I do that all. I have to put my worries there, and I'm coming before you, and I'm saying, thank you for my home. Thank you for my family. Thank you for this beautiful world you have created for us. Thank you that I'm healthy. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for helping me overcome when I was saying, why, God, why? When I was doing that, instead of solving the problem for me, you aided me in solving the problem myself, which is what God wants from us. And so in that worship, in that state of worship and gratitude to God, saying, you understand more than I do. You take care of things. You created all of this. You are outside of and in time and all through it. And I don't understand it, but you want me to. See, this is the thing about God. Something that always happens with me and Him is I'll go through things and I come before Him and I say, oh God, why? And the question that He always puts in my spirit is, what did you learn? What did you learn? Are you better? Because sometimes we go through difficult. My dad used to say, your setback, me with my quotes this week, I keep getting them all wrong. Your setback could be a setup, right? I actually said that we had the flyover conservatives on with us, and they will be up tomorrow. Yes, it's tomorrow. So Mom and I, 2 days ago, we did an interview of the flyover conservatives. They're going to be up on the House of Destiny network for the Saturday broadcast for conversations with my mother Jane and I. And it was such a great, it was just so great. I'm just making sure I don't forget, because it's very important you guys watch it. It was a powerful interview. And if you don't know who the flyover conservatives are, go to the House of Destiny Network tomorrow and watch conversations, and you will find out. And they are some very good friends that I have made, my mother and I, over the past couple of years. And so we really wanted to share them with you. We've been interviewed on their show. We're going to go back on their show as well. So keep your eye on what we're doing with them, and then afterwards you can have a look at them as well. The flyover conservatives, they are awesome. So anyway, back to the praying. So when you pray, that act of worship is for you, because what is it doing? Your mind changes when you do that. You've come with all these problems, and you say, I'm going to put those there, and I'm going to worship you, and I'm going to thank you. And in that mentality of gratitude, your perspective changes. Because when you walked into wherever it was, or out to your garden, or wherever you're going, to start that prayer, you went with burdens that you were carrying. And when you worship God, now you're not seeing all the negative anymore. Now you are seeing all the beautiful things, all the good things that you were just thanking God for. Now your perspective has changed. And so if you can understand the offering and worship being for you, for us, and not for God, and why, it really helps with some of this stuff, you know. It's not just some random thing that doesn't mean anything, like, oh, you just have to worship God. No, no, it has a purpose for us. So I wanted to share that. And also, this is a verse that we need to remember as we go through all of the things that we're seeing. I mean, let's start. There were, I actually had wanted to get a picture to show you of a map, and I forgot to get it. But I don't know if you guys heard about the aliens in Peru. I'm actually going to wait for the comments on that. You guys hear about the aliens? There's a delay here, so I'm going to wait. Actually, I'll say hello. Nina Rocks on Rumble. Is this playing? It is playing. Okay. Nina Rocks on Rumble says, Shalom from communist New York. Shalom. Nina, that's funny. I love New York so much. It makes me so sad to see what's happening there. And I don't know if you guys, anybody following me on Twitter would have seen the post I put up. It's not called a tweet anymore. The post that I put up yesterday, where I quoted my dad's prophecy, and then showed the video of what Los Angeles looks like right now. And I didn't want to play that video here because it's pretty bad, like if you're looking on the streets, but there's a lot of swearing and things. So I don't want to play it on this, but if you want to see it, you can go to my Twitter page and look at the post. It would be one of the most recent ones. And if you are not following me on Twitter, you can, because what I do all week long is I'll retweet or repost now, because it's called X. And I'm using it because it's giving me the most freedom. I don't have to worry too much about the censorship. But I'm posting all week long the news that I'm watching. Like if I'm saving anything, I'm retweeting it. So if you are on Twitter, X, whatever, you can follow me at Donna Petra. And feel free to interact with me there too. That's the only social media I use. I can only do one at a time. Going from one to the other, I don't have time for that. So I've gone with, okay, I'm going to stay with Twitter because they're letting us talk about election and things like that. Which, by the way, that was the other thing in the news. Who saw that? Okay, but I won't go there yet. We've got the alien people coming back here. Okay. Yes, okay. You've heard about the aliens. You saw the story. For anyone who doesn't know, okay, some of you haven't. So what happened this week was there's a village in, I'm trying to think, it's quite interesting this. There is a village in Peru. It's pretty deep in the Amazon. So if you are looking at the map of Peru and you know where Ecuador is. So if Ecuador, I'm going to put my finger here. If Ecuador is on the map, it's just a little bit out into the jungle about here on the map. If you're looking at a map, here's Ecuador near the coast. If you go that way into the jungle, there's this village. And in this village, they got some footage. I cannot tell what is in. I can't see it. I can't say that's an alien. I don't know what it is. I can't see anything really. But they're putting a spotlight. It's grainy footage because someone's filming on it from the middle of the Amazon jungle with a phone. Dogs are barking. The villagers are there. Everybody's shouting in Spanish, and they're putting a spotlight on this thing, and they're shooting at it. A young girl, a teenage girl, had gone. Was somebody tried to grab her? Something tried to grab her, and she had lacerations on her neck. Now, if this is it could be fake. I did find it interesting, though, that just as we're getting that in the news, now, apparently this happened a couple of weeks ago, and these villagers called in the equivalent of the Navy there, because they're there on the Amazon River, to help them deal with these aliens. And they're shooting at them, and they're not dying, apparently. Some other video popped up of a guy with his face it was like mostly a skull on the side of the river. Again, I'm not showing you any of this footage. It's very graphic. That one looks fake to me though, and it was from a Reddit post I found out. So if any of you have seen the man on the side of the Amazon River and you see the men picking him up and his skull is showing, I kind of think that's fake. My husband and I both looked at the video and we're like, my husband's not buying any of it. Neither am I. I don't think it's aliens. I don't believe in aliens in the traditional sense of, yes, there's either greys or whatever they're called coming to Earth from other planets. I don't believe that's what's going on. I do think it could be a very big distraction because a few days later in Ecuador, which I told you, Ecuador's here at the coast, and then where this happens, kind of just out in the jungle a little bit. They're saying 7-foot aliens, 10-foot aliens cannot be shot, and they call them I forget what they call them in Spanish, para something, means face peeler, which is a little bit daunting. That's frightening. Because then there's that video of the guy with his skull. So that's why I looked at that. Like, is this what is happening? So it could be a couple of things. I think it's a distraction. I am very suspicious. Now, again, we're going with conspiracy theories again. I'm very suspicious that, okay, have you seen the AI robots that they've made that look like humans? And they look exactly like humans. And they have the computer in them and everything. They could just as easily make anything. Because you've seen, I'm sure you guys have seen the AI robot soldiers that they've made, and they're jumping around, and well, if they can make that, and they can make them look like humans, they can make them look like aliens. And if they wanted to fake an alien invasion, which I look, at this point, I wouldn't put it past these people. There is so much that has come out just this week that is incriminating. Not only we've got Fauci, I've got news clips on that. We've Rand Paul and what he's doing with Fauci. And then, well, actually, no, maybe we should show that. Why don't I go ahead and read that? I'm going to pull it up here so I can read. I don't want to be straining at the screen, so I'll read it to them.
Which one do you want?
I'm going to pull it up. I'll tell you what the name of the file is. It is, we've got one Rand Paul Fauci. And then you see how it's 1 and then 2, 3. I've done it like that. You can pull up 1 and let's show them.
I don't see the file name, so
it's here. 1 Rand Paul. It looks like that. Do you not see the file name?
Okay.
That's it. Yes, there you go. Now I'll make sure I can pull it up.
I just see the picture.
That's okay. I can show you the pictures. I don't know. Okay. So as you see there, it says Rand Paul slaps Fauci with DC criminal referral over perjury allegations. Senator Rand Paul has filed a criminal referral against Dr. Anthony Fauci for allegedly lying under oath about the origins of COVID-19. In a Tuesday letter to DC U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves, Paul demanded an investigation into Fauci for allegedly perjuring himself during a 2021 congressional hearing. I saw that hearing, and I knew he was perjuring himself at the time. Because from day one, I did not believe that one ate a bat and suddenly we all have COVID. I don't believe it. I do not. What I believe is that, yes, they do have gain of function research. Let's go to the second one so I can keep reading this article, which will look like that. Okay? He's going to pull that up for me. There we go. And here's Senator Rand Paul's tweet, where he says, because of the DOJ's inaction regarding Fauci's lies to Congress, I've now sent a criminal referral to D.C. using D.C. U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves. I'm demanding an investigation, and then there's the letter. Pull it up just so they can see it. So he's going to pull up, it looks like that. So it's going to look like this one. Here you go, you can see this. Now, at the time, look, when COVID first happened, this is what I noticed. Donald Trump had been putting sanctions on China at the time. the trade stuff, and and he'd been putting sanctions on China and making them pay, making everybody pay what they were supposed to pay, so America's not footed with the bill all the time. And at the time, I thought they don't like it. I'm surprised they haven't done anything, and I'm watching and like, ew. And next thing you know, COVID happens, and it just so happens to come from a lab in China, the Wuhan coronavirus lab. But no, it didn't come from there. It came from a bat in a wet market up the street. That is the biggest load of hogwash I've ever heard. So it's obvious what's going on. And when he started, I never even heard of gain of function research until I watched that congressional hearing, and I was like, what is that? And then I found out what it is, and I'm like, well, why do they even do that? Like, how stupid can you be? Because if it does get released, you could, anyway. This is going back to as in the days of Noah, so shall it be when the Son of Man returns. Because you see these people and what they're doing. You know what? I don't want to neglect you guys. I'm seeing all these comments coming. Okay, great. Let's see. Give me 1 second so I can have a look here. You guys have been commenting. I don't want to miss you. They have robot dogs too. Oh, no. No, AI is not of God. This is the beast system is the AI, I think. I even am at this point wondering if Mystery Babylon. No, I'm not going to speak out of turn. It's because I have no proof. It just came to my mind. But when you think about Mystery Babylon, everyone wants to say it's America. I do not believe that. You can disagree with me if you want. It's not. But it is interesting to consider there is another world that's been created. We're in it right now because we're not in the same room together. We are using a device to go somewhere else where we're meeting. So what if that's... Because wouldn't that have been a anyway, it's straight out of my head. No facts, no proof. It just came to me now, and I keep thinking about that. So it's okay to check ourselves and make sure we have figured everything out. Because sometimes we can get like, oh, I figured that out. And then you move on, and new information may come to light, and it may change things a little bit. And you have to be sort of open to move around and just look. Don't be afraid. What do I think of Joseph C? I don't know who that is. Maybe give me more information. Patriots Shark. Oh, you saw my dad in 2007 in San Jose. Did you see him prophesy Trump? That was around the time. He was in Redding, California when he prophesied Trump would be a Trumpet the first time. And then he was in 2007, he was just prophesying Trump. Sorry, I'm moving my chair forward. Prophesying Trump everywhere. Now, okay, someone has brought up something interesting about Peru here. Let me go back down. So, demonic. Okay, so as I was saying, I spoke to Clay Clark yesterday. I said, what do you think about these aliens? It's bothering me. Because I've been watching, I've been watching about the cryptids, about the... these creatures they're seeing, people keep reporting in the woods, and I don't think everybody's lying and making it up, and I don't think they're all just seeing bears. And I am concerned that, I've told you before, and I keep saying this, I've never liked the CERN situation, and I am suspicious these people are messing with portals. If they are, because I told you about the resurrection chamber with Hillary Clinton, the DOJ or the DOD, one of them emailed her, and in those Hillary Clinton emails is an official email asking for the resurrection chamber and the Nephilim in Iraq, which is an odd thing. So, if these people are opening portals, what if they're letting things in, demonic entities, things that... And again, no proof. This is my brain. Yes. Barbara, you've said it. Could Mystery Babylon be referencing the alternative reality of AI? That's what I'm trying to say. It's just a new idea. It just came to me. I have no proof. I need to read my Bible. I need to talk to my mother. But it won't leave me alone. And I am concerned about these things, whether they are a demonic entity or it is a fake alien invasion, which I've told you before. Also, Dr. Stephen Greer, who's the big alien guy, has been saying they're going to fake an alien invasion. So I asked Clay Clark yesterday, and he's given me some stuff to research, which I haven't had time to do, and I will come back next week with that research for you. But he was telling me to look at Project Bluebeam, Project Bluebeam, BlackRock's AI connection, and a speech Ronald Reagan made at the UN, which I'm going to cut for you guys. I'll play it next week. Which is all, and he was telling me about holograms and what they can do with a hologram. If you were to, you wouldn't even really need the AI robots then, you know. But I think that they're getting desperate. It does look like they're getting desperate because, like I said, did you see the news this week? How much money has gone into the Biden family pockets? Can you imagine what they would do if they found, now this isn't just hearsay, these are whistleblowers, emails, taxes, bank records, and official people, official IRS agents and things like that. This is a mountain of evidence now. So it's not just hearsay. Showing at least $20 million that I know of now that has been received from Russia, China, Ukraine, and there's another list, all other lists, but the main ones being Russia, China, and Ukraine. Can you imagine if Donald Trump had that evidence? They would destroy him. They would destroy him. He's done nothing wrong, and they're running around trying to figure out how to indict him to stop him from running for president. So that means they are going out of their way, more than going out of their way. They are changing everything to stop him. Why? I mean, isn't that them stopping the will of the people then, if they're not even going to let us? Because if he was that bad, you would just say, well, this is what we have and this is why we're worried. But they're not doing that because they're covering up their own crimes. Because my dad prophesied, I don't remember the date now, but he prophesied that he would have an anointing that would expose things around him without him even trying to or being aware of it even. Because of the anointing God had put on him. And that is exactly what happened when he went into office, is that his presence exposed things. He wasn't even doing it on purpose, all of it. It was being exposed because God knew putting that outsider in there who would open his mouth, who isn't bought and paid for or blackmailed, what that would do. And we saw what it did. The whole world went crazy. They released a virus in the middle of his presidency to stop him. Can you imagine? So how bad is it that about what's going on here? I mean, how bad is it? Oh, there you go, Black Row Christian. You said it. Who paid for 9/11? You said it. Okay, Project AA Strumming. Welcome back. I've quoted you before. Didn't you give me a super chat? I think you did. Project Mockingbird and Monarch. I've heard of both. And Project Bluebeam, I'm gonna be looking up. But thank you for. And listen, email me, guys. Codebreakers@houseofdestiny.org. Email me about this as well. Bluebeam is ridiculous. I have not asked Robin Bullock. I didn't know, but I will. I could call his daughter today. I'm friends with his daughter. And him. and him. But I'd speak to her. So I will ask them. That's very interesting. Thank you for bringing that up. Thanks for being patient as I'm reading that. I didn't want to ignore you guys this week because so much stuff comes through here. The Masons are like a tree. They have many branches that never stop growing, but their roots still the fallen angels. You're right. Yes, we do plead the blood of Jesus Christ over Donald Trump. Please God and his family. What has been done to them is terrible. And yes, JW055, nothing new under the sun. It is a spiritual battle. And this is what God was preparing us for with all of the stuff my dad prophesied. He was preparing us for just this kind of thing because Whew. But know this, as bad as this gets, God is much greater, and what he does is better than any evil. No matter how overwhelming that evil is, God can overcome it like that. And all it takes is a bit of faith from us and action, because faith is action, and unity in the spirit. Not this faux unity that they sell on the other side that isn't uniting it at all. It does nothing but divide. But real unity, like we're doing now, when two or more are gathered. I say it all the time. I love that verse. When two or more are gathered, he is in the midst of them, and that's what we want, and that's what we ask for. And so that's a true unity will come from him. And God showed us it was going to happen. Look what he showed my dad. Excuse me. Look what he showed my dad. Scales removed from eyes. We have it. We have the prophecy. We were going to play it last week and we didn't. Do you want to play it now? Why don't we just watch it? Watch my dad and we'll come back. Because he's going to say it better than me.
There's an American party that's emerging. A party that's going to outdo the Republicans and the Democrats. A party that's going to stand up for what is right. Of course, they'll have flaws, but you can see the disintegration of and the discord that's taking place in this nation. That's coming to an end. Maybe it'll take longer than you think, but it's there. It's like John the Baptist in the womb of Elizabeth, leaping when Christ comes into his presence in the womb of Mary. What made him leap? The presence of Christ. Listen, that's important because they weren't born yet. There are unborn things at this very moment that we need to realize, even though you cannot see them, they are present. You cannot see a child except for the fact that you can hear the heartbeat nowadays and you can see the mother growing and so on, but you wouldn't know. But there are things present today that are not yet manifest, that will yet come, and it takes a prophetic eye to know what they are. I was standing in my garden. Suddenly the Spirit came and removed from my eyes scales. And suddenly behind me, starting behind my back, going in the form of an arrow, were hundreds of thousands of people. And I turned around and I was stunned at what I saw. And so I raised my hand like this, and every one of them raised their hands. I looked back and they were doing the same thing. I shouted and they all shouted. They were one. They were one. One party. One party of people. It continued until I realized that the unity of these, amongst them stood one that God had set aside to be the leader of this nation. Why is God doing this? For God said, I am dissatisfied with what emerges from both parties.
That makes me, that has changed the whole atmosphere of everything. It just changed the whole atmosphere. Okay, I saw what someone wrote, and it's gone up, but you'll know when I say this. Very interesting. Okay, so the fallen angels, someone brought up Mount Hermon. So this is, I believe it's the Book of Enoch, right? If you're the one who commented, tell me if I'm right, because I think this is off the top of my head. I do believe yeah, it is the Book of Enoch. The fallen angels made that oath on Mount Hermon. Man, that you brought that up, and he was prophesying like that. It was a little bit of an eerie moment. Okay. listen to what he said, unborn things are present. And just because we can't see them doesn't mean they aren't here. And that's hopeful. That's hopeful because as we go through all of this change, it does seem sort of like impending doom. But that's what the devil wants you to think. And that's what he's throwing in your face. And the counter to that is what God showed my dad. And often with the prophetic, it's not how it appears in the moment. There's the story about the prophet who's crying on the front of the pulpit and everybody's celebrating in the church and they're all saying, why are you crying? I think it's supposed to go the other way around. Everybody's sad in the church and the prophet's rejoicing. And everyone says, how can you be so happy? Everything's so bad. He says, because I can see the future. And then later on, the good thing happens, everybody's happy. And then he's crying. Why are you crying? Because I can see the future, you see. And so when you have that perspective of right now dictating to you and keeping you afraid, and like I said, all the burdens, and then you come to God. You got to think about, it's a way of thinking prophetically. Let me put it that way. You are always thinking, it's not that you're not paying attention to your present either, but you're always able to see that you're not held by this. My dad used to say, don't let your present circumstances dictate your future. That's probably not verbatim, but that's what he was saying. And that's sort of that is exactly how we're supposed to be dealing with this right now. You know, if we keep letting this, and I know every week I'm coming to you with the news, so it seems like, but because we're code breaking, and we're code breaking my father's prophecies, but we're also code breaking all of it. You know, my dad's prophecies are there, and I can speak to those because those are the ones I know. You know, there are obviously other prophets as well, not just him, but I'll only speak to what I feel comfortable that I can share with you. And if I don't know something, I'm going to be very clear. Like, this is a conspiracy theory, but it's got my attention. Like, whatever's going on with the aliens in Peru is not what it appears to be. And nothing is. Nothing is. And this is what, when my dad began to prophesy about this stuff, and of course I feel like he was prophesying about it his whole life. But when he got to closer to the time, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this justice. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let's go to the news, because I'm not going to, see, like I just told you, I'm not going to be sure sometimes like, this is a conspiracy theory. Let's just leave it alone. I'll come back. But I do want to go to the news also because we're going to run out of time, and I want to cover this stuff because it's going to lead us. You are going to need to pull up Tara's top 10, and we're starting at 10.
Okay.
Thank you, Lou. Everybody say thank you to Lou. Isn't he great? He makes sure I have all this stuff every week. There we go, top 10 news. Okay. You know, I've been titling them for you, and you can't see the titles.
No.
I have to come up with a better system. Okay, let me read these actually off my phone because I'm not going to be able to see it. This is for you guys, so you can see on the screen.
But I have it in the order that you have it on the list.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, see, the order was wrong today, but I thought, oh, don't worry, the titles. We'll fix it. Listen, you guys, this that I'm doing here live, we're building something here. So when I first started doing this, I just dipped my toe in to see, should I? Then you guys are watching and you're engaging, you're emailing, so I was like, okay, I'll keep doing it. Especially because we went to Chumped Around. I had Trey Smith with me there. But we're building something here. And this is what I've kind of always seen Code Breakers as being. But we're sort of at the foundational stages here where everything's sort of like, the concrete's got to be poured in and there's a mess everywhere. So this is what's happening with this. But slowly we will refine this. I have a basement. And at my house, it's not the whole... You know how some basements will be the whole bottom of the house? That's not. In my house, it's just a section underneath is a basement, and then the other is not. The other part is not, so it's sectioned off. But it's an unfinished basement, and I've just used it for storage. But I had a look at it, and it looks like we'll be able to, if we do a little work on it, I can actually have a home studio. And the thing I wanted to do with this, the lives, was come to you from my home. So that, I'm not getting up and going somewhere else, that you are in my home with me. That's what I want. And And, so we've got this plan to do this. Eventually I want to be able to pull the computer up myself and scroll with you through my Twitter. I would love to be able to do that. We've got a lot to do though to build that. So right now we're using our House of Destiny, just the regular studios, and that's why I'm here, because when I was at home, the internet also doesn't work well enough for me to do this for you guys, and it kept freezing. So I have to upgrade my internet, and I have to drywall down in that basement, and I have to figure out what we're going to do there. But that's eventually how I want this to go. And then I would also maybe be able to come to you more than once a week, especially if something exciting happened, I could just pop on. So we're building something here, and I'm so grateful to you for your patience, and for those of you who kept coming back as things have sort of been juggled around. I got my dry erase boards, and what am I doing? But it's just, this is how I would do it. If you could come over and we were to look at things, this is what would be happening, really. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, just keep it as real as possible, because I want to have a conversation with you. I don't want this to be a show. I don't want to be like on a pulpit. I want it to be us together. That's what my dad saw, and that is going to be the answer to this problem. This global problem is the people of Earth, especially the Christians, come together and figure this out. We are responsible to do that, I think. And I often say, I wish I had like a megaphone that would only go to the, like none of the leaders could hear me. Like I could only talk to just the citizens of countries and be like, people of Earth, join us. They're crooks. They're trying to enslave us all. Because that is what I see. I mean, look, right now it's not a conspiracy theory. Go to the World Economic Forum. You will hear what Klaus Schwab is saying. Go anywhere on the news. I mean, it's like aliens are invading. I know, actually, this is a worse thing, is what happened in Maui. I mean, the whole place just went up in flames. I've never heard of Hawaii having fires. I'm sure they do. It's not like, I've never even been to Hawaii. But I've never had it in the news. It was like we lived in Los Angeles, so we were used to those wildfires every single summer. They come through. And yes, if they would clear up some of the debris in the forests and on the land there, they would probably not have such bad of a problem. Instead, they just want to tax us like crazy and enslave us and tell us, we're all going to die in 9 years or 5 years or 1 year because the climate is changing. When the climate of this planet has changed for the entirety of this planet, as long as it's existed, the climate has been changing. That's why you have an ice age, and we're coming out of that ice age, so it will get warmer. I mean, just if you were to look at, like, they always want to quote these weather things and say, oh, it's the hottest. It's not the hottest summer. I know it's a hot summer, but it's not the hottest summer ever right now. The hottest summer was, a summer this hot was like something like 1935. I had a look. So how, like in 1935, we didn't have all of the cars and the carbon emissions and all the things. So how come it was hotter in 1935? It's a trick. And yes, the climate's changing, but that doesn't mean you have to give all your tax dollars and your freedoms to a little group of lunatics who are flying around in jets telling us we shouldn't drive cars. I've had enough.
And yachts.
And yachts. I've had enough. I'm not believing it. I'm not falling for it. And it doesn't mean I don't care about this planet. I just think we could pick up our trash and clean up after ourselves. That would be a good way. Because no matter what we do, you think China and India, for instance, and I'm not picking on the citizens or anything, but I'm just saying, do you think those countries are going to be able to meet those climate standards? And how many African leaders are you seeing? I keep seeing African leaders standing up and saying, no, we're not going to do this. And then a lot of them, I mean, how many? If you go look at how many assassinations there have been, and then look what happened in Peru, in Ecuador. The prime minister was just assassinated. So in the span of a week, we hear about aliens just not that far off. If you look on a map of Peru and you see where Ecuador is and you see where the village is, that this alien thing happened, it's right there by Ecuador. So what's happening over there? Because he got assassinated. Now, he wasn't the president, though. He's a candidate running for office. He's not the prime minister. of Ecuador, or the president. I think it's president of Ecuador. He's not. He is running. He was running for office and was assassinated. And I do believe that it was cartel or something, and I think he may have owed them money. So there could be some corruption there. Regardless, it is, to me, it got my attention that those two things happened in the same area, and then you got Maui burning like that. Oh, those poor people. Please, Lord Jesus, just help them. They were jumping into the ocean to get away from that fire. The families that have been separated, the people who have died, they have not found, people who are lost. Lord Jesus, we just ask you to be with them, help them, comfort them, and heal them, because something's not right. Someone said it here in the comments about Maui burning. You said they burned it. Now, it could be, because it does appear to be arson. So here's the thing. Whatever these little things individually are, they are indicators to me something is, it was all ruffled up this week, right? I mean, but a positive I'm very excited about is how much we are seeing about the 2020 election this week. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's been testimony after testimony. Some of them are old, and I saw them right after 2020. I was following Rudy Giuliani like this with those cases. And so I saw all of those testimonies at the time, but there's others now that have come up. And I am happy because it is becoming, like for instance, I showed you about Fauci with COVID and the gain of function. And you remember, if you go back in time, not that long ago, it was, it's outrageous. He would suggest that it's gain of function. No, it's not outrageous. It's outrageous that you would suggest we believe that all of that happened because someone ate a bat.
Mm-hmm.
And just up the road from the Wuhan coronavirus lab. And then I've told you guys before I showed you the inoculation prophecy. And then Dr. Hunt, please God help me be remembering his name. Or Dr. Is it Hunt? I think it is Hunt. I played for you where he was at the EU COVID summit. And he was talking about in North Carolina, SARS-1 being released from there in 2002. And my dad prophesied about it in 2001. You can go back on these lives and watch that one.
It is on YouTube as just a video.
One of my live videos.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have it on its own?
Yeah.
Oh, go to the
And on
Kim
Rumble.
Clement YouTube channel, the Kim Clement Rumble, and look for the inoculations. And you'll see Dr. Hunt there, he's bald with the glasses. It's there in a shorts.
Mm-hmm.
In the shorts.
It's just that
Is it a
and
short?
him speaking, yes.
It's in the shorts. Oh, it is.
No. It's a video.
It's in my shorts on my page, on my YouTube. I have a YouTube channel too. I don't do much with
It's
it, but I
just a
should.
video.
I will be. Harp. Yes. Now, do you remember watching? What was his name? The governor that was the wrestler or whatever it was. Man, I need my husband here with me to remember the things my brain won't hold on to.
Jake? Yeah.
Oh, wait, now I'm getting distracted. Yeah, China's not making any changes to improve air quality. So why do all of us have to pay all this money and give up our cars and stop eating meat? We've got to eat bugs now. We're not going to own anything. Their plan is not even to let us raise our own children. They can take them to the state. And then they're going to mutilate them and tell them, oh, if you were born a girl, you can be a boy if you want to. If you were born a boy, you can be I mean, this guy, Dylan Mulvaney, we need to be praying for him. That is a sick person. And I don't mean that I mean mentally ill, being taken advantage of, and it is cruel, and it is wrong.
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura, thank you. Jesse Ventura. You saw it. He went and he was doing the harp thing, and my husband and I used to watch that. Although he's no good anymore. Now he's also part of them, telling people they must get vaccinated and forget about your freedom, or worse things said. And then I'm sure you guys have seen what's going on with the hypocrisy of the left again. Do I really need to? I'm gonna. Okay, so No, I'm not going
Do
to.
you want to
Forget
do
it.
the
They,
top 10?
no, let's go back to our top 10. The left are hypocrites. Just forget about it. I know I keep doing that today, but I don't want to go down. I'm going to run out of time, and I don't want to go down avenues I shouldn't go to. So let's go through the news. Okay, and I'm going to read it from my phone because I can't see well over there. Okay. Senator Rand Paul to file criminal charges against Fauci. We saw that already. Boycotters vowed to make Best Buy the new Bud Light after James O'Keefe reveals shocking discrimination against white employees. Now, it's worse. Did I put that in? I did put O'Keefe in there.
I think
You have
so.
a look?
Yes.
Pull that up. Take this one down and pull that up. I'm going to show them this. So, James O'Keefe just revealed that Best Buy, here you go, here's the tweet. I just screenshotted this tweet. So the video won't play. But you can see James O'Keefe is there in front of Best Buy. I'm never going to Best Buy again. 2 days ago, we found out Best Buy won't let whites participate in its management training program, and now we learn the retail giant discriminates against Christians. Now I watched this video. I only got it right before I came in today to this, so I didn't have the video loaded. But you can go and find that video, and you can actually hear the conversation. An employee at Best Buy actually recorded a conversation with his manager, and the manager was telling him, because they could have all the pride things up, but you were not allowed to have a cross. And the argument he was making was, you can choose your religion, you can't choose this. And that guy was saying, no, you can choose. You can choose to accept the body you were born in, or you can mutilate yourself. I mean, and also the thing that we also need to remember is there actually is a difference between the LGBTQ and the trans. That's different. They've lumped it all together, but that is a different thing. It's much, in my opinion, much similar to anorexia. It's a body dysmorphia. It's feeling that you're in the wrong body. And wouldn't the devil do that? Wouldn't he? Wouldn't he lie to us? Try to lie to people and tell them something wrong with you. Your body that God created is wrong. It's a terrible thing. And, there should be help for these people and compassion. I don't feel that I don't feel the need for vengeance. I feel the need for healing. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's move on. So you've seen that. So I would encourage you to try to find that video by James O'Keefe if you want to hear that conversation. But that is the point being here is this is becoming an increasing problem, is the attack on particularly Christians. And I'll tell you what happened to me this week. I posted on Twitter, X, this is my fact checker with a picture of the Bible. And it was getting a little bit of traction there, people liking and sharing it. I mean, it's just a meme. And man, some of those atheists coming after me, a couple of people really came after me. But I always engage. I don't mind, because I understand people having questions and not understanding, especially if they haven't grown up, or maybe they've been around, super religious Christians who were judgmental, who misrepresented Christ. You never know what could happen with, or what could be going on with people. The devil is a lying loser. Thank you, Rockstar Miracle. But it is this discrimination against Christian. Look, it is. Jesus himself said that we would have to face this, and so we knew this would come. But quite shocking in America to see that, because it's completely justified in their minds, and it is a terrible, terrible lie that is doing nothing but divide people where they don't need to be divided. It's not necessary. So anyway, let's go to the next one. We've got the FBI raid that killed the 75-year-old man. Now, listen, this man was making some terrible threats. You shouldn't make them. Even to Biden, you shouldn't be making those kind of threats. Nobody should be threatening anybody. But we do find that it is a little excessive the way the FBI behaved, and they did kill the man. And it is over social media posts. They were threatening. I don't know much more about what happened. I think he did pull his gun, and they shot him and killed him. And then, of course, we've got Tucker Carlson's interview with Andrew Tate. Can I say that I don't like Andrew Tate? I don't care what side he's on. I don't like him. The guy made a living pimping women on the internet, and I have seen footage of him swearing to ISIS. I don't feel, and I don't know about that. My husband showed that to me. I'm not a fan. Just because someone's conservative and saying the right things, I don't like that guy. And I don't understand why Tucker Carlson. Why are there 100 million views? And where did he come from? Because the thing is, I'm suspicious too. I'm suspicious of everyone. Where did he come from? Because I never heard of the guy, and then all of a sudden he's like exploding everywhere, and he's getting arrested in Romania. And who is this person? And when you look up who he is, he's just a pimp. I mean, that's what he does. So I don't understand why he's getting all these interviews just because he says the right things. Be wary of that too. I don't just trust just because someone's saying things that appear to have maybe the same values. Really, I'm going to ask God right now, God, give us discernment. Give us discernment. Give us a keen prophetic eye in these days so that we can spot where there's a problem and take care of it, because that is the mode we are in right now. We are in the mode of, especially because there's so much deception, when you are a prophetic person, when you are filled with the Spirit and the gift of prophecy is enacted in you, I think would be a better way of putting it. Because that is a gift of the Spirit, and you may not be in the office of prophet like my dad, but you are prophetic. And if you ask God, He will help you without question. And it doesn't always come in the way you want. And sometimes it might make things a little bit harder for you, but you must maybe think, is it a setback or a setup for something better? Is God pushing me? Because He will do that. And that's good. Okay, Biden is now requesting another $24 billion for Ukraine. Okay, this is the one thing I wanted to show you guys, and this is why I did this post on Twitter. Can you pull up a page?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull up mine?
Which page?
My Twitter.
Yeah.
You can? You can pull up my Twitter
Just give
page.
me a moment.
Oh, this is going to go wild. This broadcast is about to go wild. And we're out of time.
We are.
We're going into Twitter. You guys got to see my Twitter, because then I can show you like a video. Because otherwise we've got to upload it into this program, which kicked us off in the beginning. So if we can just mirror a page and then you can just show them, that would be nice. Because it'd be nice if you could see this. Yes, Donate for president. No, I don't want that job. No, I don't want that job. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I could be friends with the president and every now and then go, hey, you should probably do that. Like, that would be fine with me. I don't want to be the president. I don't want to.
Okay, what am I looking for?
That's right. Grammy Anon, the post I did of my dad's prophecy. Grammy Anon said people can recant and repent, but until they start producing good fruit, there's no way to know that. You are right. That is wisdom, and I'm taking that. I will take that from you. That is absolutely right. So we are asking for that discernment, but again, you will know them by their fruits, and that is extraordinarily wise and timely. Thank you very much for saying that, Grammy Anon, because you were right on. The broadcast's gone, Wolf. Wild. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually look here, because you guys were talking about Tate. He's a Muslim, and his brother's a Christian. Yeesh. I wonder what their dinners are like. Okay,
You've retweeted a lot.
Oh, no, it would have been just... It's a quote of my dad. If you
It's a
turn it
quote.
to me, I'll be on there. Yeah, you don't have to go too far. I
You've got
quoted
it.
my dad's prophecy. No, that wouldn't be that. Yeah, that was this morning. Keep going. Sorry, guys. I am just helping him find this that I posted. Yeah, keep going. Wait. No, keep going. There. February 22nd, 2014. Post that.
Okay.
Put that up. Share that with them. Now, I wasn't going to, I didn't upload. Another reason is that he's swearing in the beginning of the video.
Okay, so we won't play the
The
video.
man in the street. Well, he's swearing, but he's losing his mind, and it's actually showing you what things are like. Okay, you can probably see this. Do you see the video? That is what it looks like on the streets of Los Angeles. This is Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood, around that area. I lived here for 13 years. And it didn't look like that when I lived there. You see these people on the streets. Okay, so this is the prophecy. I'm going to go also to my Twitter, because then I can read it. Sorry, guys, bad eyes. So I'm going to read it from here. Here we go. But here the transcript. This is my dad. You guys are going to recognize this. But hear the transcription of God upon the heart of his prophet. How the gold has become dim. The stones of the sanctuary are scattered at the head of every street. The precious sons of Zion, valuable as fine gold, are now regarded as clay pots, and those who ate delicacies are desolate in the streets, and those who were brought up in royal scarlet now embrace ash heaps. Is this what I wanted? My people were brighter than snow, whiter than milk. They were like sapphire in their appearance, and now they are stricken for lack of fruits in the field. The hands of once compassionate women have cooked their own children, and their children have become food for them. Your children have become food for who were once compassionate women. But my fury is fulfilled, says the Lord, and I have now kindled a fire in Zion. I have kindled a fire in America and nations throughout the earth. Look at that. That is what he saw. You see that? That's what he was meaning when he was saying, the precious sons of Zion, valuable as fine gold. Those are valuable souls that are laying on the street. That is not what God wanted. God showed my dad this was going to happen because that's a big problem. And we as Christians bear more of a responsibility because of the truth that we carry inside of us, that we have to take responsibility for some of this. That is the humbling that my dad saw. That is why God had to place a veil upon this nation, because there was no other way to save us, and there is no one else who can save us, and not just this nation, but the world, but God. And that's what he's telling us right now. Not my dad, not any other prophet, not any other human being, but his people together doing his will. We are responsible to make sure that this happens. You see my scripture? You can't see it now because I'm in the little ball. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable will of God. That is not his will. And what we are seeing going on, and the things that I have heard, and what is going on at the border, and what is going on with innocent children, is unacceptable. And God himself is going to intervene, and you watch. And it will not be a world war, and I'm saying that to you right now. It will not be World War III. It's going to be something else. Because God is yet to show us the manifestation of a rock in the hand of a generation. And I will not give up on them. And we will not give up. And whenever Jesus is coming, he's coming. Like a thief in the night. We don't know when that's going to be. Until that moment, I will not stand back and allow it. I will not keep my mouth shut. Whatever I have to suffer. I don't have much to lose. It's fine. Come after me. I mean, they already took my father. Come after me. You know? But I'm not standing for it. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. And none of you will either. And I can see it in the comments. Because God wins. You were right about the war on drugs. And I have to agree with you there. Brought to humanity by your local guys. Blood cries out, yes. Blood is crying out from the streets of America. Who thought that would happen? Can you imagine that this is happening in America? All of these things. We cannot allow it. We cannot allow the earth to be taken over by a small globalist elite who think they've figured out How to Live Forever, because they can do the genetic editing. You know, Pinky and the Brain over there, they're doing their genetic editing and they can live forever. But guess what that means? Not everybody gets to live forever, because then the earth would be overpopulated. So they sterilize us, they confuse the youth and have them, you know, mutilate themselves so that they are sterilized. Abortion, trim down, population control, you know, the Great Reset, the Agenda 2030. It is so brazen and open that anybody calling you a conspiracy theorist, where have they been? Under a rock? Because it's absurd. So, anyway, I think we still have some news clips, but I got all upset. I played my father's prophecy, and now I'm just... Anyway, let me look. What do we got? Let's show them the rest. I mean, we can't leave them hanging. Thanks for showing that, though. That's cool. We can do that. I didn't know we could do that, but you could pull up my thing. Now that we can do that, next week's going to be very interesting. Oh, I would have had the Peru. Well, no, I didn't want to show that skeleton one. It was a fake thing. I'm just going to pull the image up here again.
Number 5.
We had number 5. President Trump reacts to news that the January... Oh, my. Did you hear this? January 6th committee just destroyed evidence. You know, that group of... Oh, my goodness. Traitorous. Treasonous. I know you guys feel like this too when you see the news sometimes. Because, listen, what I have done, I have dealt with... I mean, not dealt with. I've spoken to a lot of the January 6 people, emailing me, talking to me. Some of them, poor old Steamy Vic. He emailed me today. Hi, Vic, if you're watching, I'm going to email you and tell you to come watch this. Hi, Vic. You know, I've been speaking to these people. I have sung the national anthem with them while they were in prison, and I was with General Flynn and everybody. And we got on the phone live, and we sang with them together. And I think of my dad prophesying that the spirit of King David would be set at the foot of the Capitol, whether you like it or not. And people trying to say that those were terrorists and people trying to overthrow the government, you are believing a lie or you are a liar. Because what was going on that day was that the American people questioned, because there were enough questions about the legitimacy of that election. And that's why people get mad at Pence. It's not that we're not forgiving, you know, whatever, but you can see what happened there. And they're all covering their own backsides. And they're all making money. And that's why my dad said, God is not satisfied with the Democrats or the Republicans. There's a new thing happening. So as we see all the change and all the negative, do what I told you when we started today. Go with a heart of gratitude and worship to God. And know that it's not for God, that it's for you. So that your perspective changes. Because there are so many incredible promises. There are the warnings, there are the problems, and there are solutions. And God has given it all to us through prophecy, through His Word, the Bible. Through these things, He has given us the answers, and many other ways He can speak to you and communicate with you. And you know, when you have a relationship with Him like that, it changes. And so the renewing, the transformation happens with the renewing of your mind. So renew it every day and go before Him and say, you promised healing. You promised a cure for cancer and a cure for Alzheimer's, a cure for these autism. My son is autistic. And through my dad was promised a cure. And that cure is not coming from Klaus Schwab and their population control situation. Because like I was saying, they think, I will exalt myself above the stars of God. That's what's happening there. Why do you think my dad kept quoting? It was a prophetic quote. Because he was seeing the problem as that actual problem. It's not even within the confines of Schwab's life. Or Kissinger, who is living forever. Have you guys seen? Kissinger is still alive. He went to China a week or so ago. He's 100 years old. He's the one that set up Klaus Schwab with the World Economic Forum. The only reason I even know who Henry Kissinger is because I used to watch Faulty Towers. Any of you watch Monty Python? Well, you know who they are. So my dad loved Monty Python. We come from South Africa, British colony, British humor. Well, John Cleese, who was in Monty Python, did a show called Faulty Towers, and Dad and I used to watch the Faulty Towers. And so you'll hear me making quotes sometimes from Faulty Towers and those kind of shows, and that's why I actually would encourage you to watch it. It's very fun.
You want me to put up Trump's truth?
Put it up, yes. Put Trump's truth up again. We're going to close up now. I'm going too long. Okay, this is what I went off. You see, I diverted because of January 6th. So the January 6th committee has destroyed evidence that would exonerate Trump. Oh, I was talking about why the people went to the foot of the Capitol. I mustn't forget that either. The reason the people went there is because they went to say, we want you to investigate this election, and asked Pence not to what is the thing he was doing, not like he was sort of signing off that it was accurate, and
That they found no problems.
yeah,
There
he
was no
didn't find any
evidence.
problems, but there were problems. And then he was on the news yesterday saying, oh well, I didn't want there to be chaos. Oh, I can't stand Pence. I'm not very forgiving about Pence right now. So that's what we need to remember. My father saw that the spirit of King David would be set at the foot of the Capitol, whether you like it or not. And not for a riot, and not for anybody to be harmed or killed, as Ashley Babbitt was, shot in the face. They never talk about that, do they? You know that poor girl's mother was arrested too? She was arrested later. I mean, how much are they going to do to these people? Treat them like they're terrorists when those were American citizens, asking for accountability from the government, and look what happened to them. Some of them are still rotting in jails with no representation, not seeing their families. Being treated that way in the United States of America is unacceptable. I never thought I would see it in this country. And so we are responsible to do something about it, and to make sure that those who are innocent, that God steps in and helps. Because everybody I know has been trying to help these people, and I've never seen anything like this. And so who knows what will come out in this next week, you guys. Who knows? I'm reading some of your things I hadn't read in a little bit. Someone says he wants a lady girlfriend on a vacation on Alaska. What are you, a troll? Don't be a troll, man. Don't waste your time. Why are you wasting your time? There's all this stuff going on. You're going to waste your time. Stop it. I'll pray for you the most. I know the Capitol Police. I've seen the videos. I've looked every single thing that happened. I was watching very close because I thought I had the whole thing figured out. My dad prophesied 2 terms for Trump. It was going to be easy. We could all see he was going to win, and then all that happened, and I was thrown for a loop. And thank God for my dad, of course, but also for Clay Clark. He picked up the phone and called me in December of 2021 and asked me to join the Reawaken America tour. And then I got to meet people who were able to show me the truth that I suspected but didn't have proof of. Now I do. And God did that for me so that I could see the things that I otherwise wouldn't have seen. And it's so beautiful to me the way God did that. And he said Clay Clark's name in 2013. And not until 2021, December of 2021, did I even know who that Clark was. And I was looking for him. And people kept saying, you got to see this Clay Clark he's doing. I was like, I'd heard so many Clarks at that time. And then he picked up the phone and called me. And he was very glad that I was normal. He said, I'm so glad you're normal. So that was good too. And it has been such a blessing. So a couple of things I need to cover. Tomorrow, speaking of Reawaken America Tour, on the Reawaken America Tour, I met the Flyover Conservatives, David and Stacy Whited and their kids and their family, and they're awesome. They're so great. And Mom and I had a conversation with them it was so great. And we just filmed it a couple days ago, and it is going up at the House of Destiny Network on Saturday, which is tomorrow, and it will go up in the middle of the night sometime. So when you get up tomorrow, it should be up there for you to watch.
AM anytime in the world.
Yeah, AM anytime
so your
in the world.
AM
Yes.
will be when it's up.
So wherever you are in the world, tomorrow in the AM. Saturday, the 12th in the AM, you will be able to watch conversations with my mother, Jane, and I, and the Flyover Conservatives, and you are going to want to watch it. It was so great. So there's that. And then also today we have Israel Update. We've got a lot going on in Israel. And you're going to want to go and check out...
The Abraham Accords.
Yes, the Abraham Accords. You're going to want to go and check out Israel Update today. That is up at the House of Destiny Network. You can watch it right now. Christy Desfontaine hosts it. We are and always have been very, very strong supporters of Israel. Especially my dad prophesied so much from there about Israel and America together, so much stuff. So you do need to go check that out, especially if you're one of those people looking at this stuff. Christy is the best, and she'll be able to walk you through maybe a lot of the things that we don't always understand, because the way that the government works over there can be a bit confusing. And so we have Christy and Dubi Sabo, who's our correspondent on the ground there in Israel, in Jerusalem. And he, helps us through some of the stuff too. And so they're there together, and you will love Israel Update. So go and check that out. Monday, Prophetic Rewind. We had, this past Monday, I put up this incredible teaching my dad did that I just kind of ran across. And it was so like what I needed to hear, like in this environment. And I know you will love it. So if you haven't seen Prophetic Rewind, I put it on the House of Destiny Network every Monday. So it'll be the same thing, AM, anywhere in the world on Monday. It's up there at the House of Destiny Network. And we have an app. If you don't have the app, it is so convenient because you can watch from the app, but it has the prophecy database. It's basically a mirror of our website, houseofdestiny.org, but it's an app. So have a look there, you see? And you can do all sorts of things in this app. Prophecy, see, there's the prophecy database. Oh no, I went to the wrong. Well, anyway, that's it. That's what it looks like. And then the app, so you go to media, you'll see that's the app. And this is so if you're a phone person and you don't watch, I watch on my TV more than my phone.
It's available on Apple TV too.
Yeah, it's
Roku.
on Apple TV. We have the app on Roku. We have the app on Apple TV. So you don't have to do it on your phone only. But for our phone people, this is all the broadcasts we have. So we have a whole network that was built by my mom and dad. And we have maintained it, and we've done that for the last 7 years without my dad. And, gosh, I think he'd be quite impressed, wouldn't he? He'd be shocked.
He was pushing for the app. He actually wanted
going.
the app so many times. He kept asking, "Where's my app?"
Oh, I know he's watching us, and I hope he's proud. So that's what's going on there.
Next Friday, we have Flyover Conservatives joining you live.
Are they still? I'm not sure if they are.
I did get an email to send them a link, but I don't know.
I'm not sure about that, so that's why I didn't announce it. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
We might not. Even if they don't come next week, they'll come sometime.
Yeah.
Because the Flyover Conservatives will come on here and join us on our live too, and then you guys could ask them questions. So how about you watch that, and then we'll see how things go. I'll talk to Stacey this week.
We'll send an announcement.
But I'll let you know if we're going to do that. Another thing is we send out a newsletter at the beginning of every month. If you haven't signed up for emails, sign up for them, because we do a newsletter on the entire House of Destiny Network, and you can see everything all of us have done. And so I actually contribute quite a bit because I've got code breakers. I do conversations with my mom. Current events, she does all alone. That's all her. So she'll talk to you from there. But each of our channels, the person who runs the channel is going to communicate with you. So I do, again, Prophetic Rewind, Code Breakers, and Conversations. And this is Code Breakers now. This is what we're working on, is making this Code Breakers now. And a new way of doing it and more interactive. And this, as I said, we're building this. So I won't always be in this studio. Eventually I'll be back at my house. And then I can show you my dogs and my kids. And that's kind of what I wanted this to be too, is that we could have a feeling like we're relaxed, as if we were just hanging out together at my house, looking at what my dad prophesied and all the information, and what do we find. Oh, I didn't get to read emails.
We'll make it number one.
Why don't we do a special just email one? We'll do something, because you guys have been so amazing. You know what, I'm going to pick like maybe a top 2 or 3. I had a ton today. I was just going to pick. But maybe we should just do that. I'm just reading your comments just in case. Karen Dan 21. I love Monty Python and Faulty Towers too. Yay! A lot of people do. That's on Rumble. You Rumble guys are awesome. And the Holy Grail, I know they are hilarious. They were so funny. My dad loved them. It would play on repeat. The whole Faulty Towers.
He would laugh.
He laughed, and we did.
Yeah,
Still
our whole
laugh.
family.
I still laugh. Just so funny. John Cleese is a very funny person. Oh, wow. The Weather Channel just posted a video of a rainbow in the middle of a thunderstorm or tornado in South Dakota. How cool. Rainbow meets tornado. Well, that about sums up the United States of America. Oh, okay. I'm going to end on that, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and for everything again. All of your input. Do keep emailing me and keep on the Khazarian Mafia stuff. I'm going to come back to you. There's so much. I thought I could do it this week, but there was so much, and I'm not quite there. So I don't like to bring you stuff. Just reading you again. There's some strange things in here. Okay, you guys. It's good things, but there's a few.
We gotta go.
Yeah, we got to go. Look, we're praying for God's will, right? That's what we want. Because whatever God wants, it's going to be the best. So that's what we pray for. And we are humble enough to say, you know what, no matter what I wanted, God, if this is what you want, I know it's going to be better. And so I pray this week. Mel K. Nina Rocks, I had you in the beginning. I got you here at the end. She says, talk to Mel K about the mafia. I think we will do that. We'll talk to her. She's my friend. And I will actually see her. So I was just texting her husband the other day to tell her hair looks so beautiful. Because her and I have this thing. We see each other and we awaken and we'll hang out backstage. We're always talking about our hair because she has the same kind of hair as me where it just doesn't behave. And so if it's humid, you can't curl it or straighten it. It won't stay. And it just goes tsk. And so you'll see Mel K wears a little hat sometimes, which is she's got the same hair troubles as me. And so we'll see each other and be like, oh my goodness, what did you do with your hair? How did you? Or sometimes it's, oh, you did it. It looks beautiful. She does the same to me, right? So we're watching each other's back with hair. So I went to her channel the other day and I saw her hair. She's lightened it up. It looks so beautiful. So I texted her husband and I said, tell Mel, she looks incredible. So I'm going to be seeing her. And I'm going to ask her. I think she is the perfect person. And when I do interview her, which will be sometime this year, I will have her come on here on the live with us. And then she'll be quite happy. I know she's great with this kind of stuff. Man, she's anointed. So, okay, everybody. Next current events. We were supposed to have done a current events this week, and we didn't do it. We did the Flyover Conservatives interview, so it'll probably be, I think, next week we will do a current events. So tomorrow you've got conversations. Following Saturday, I'm not sure, but I think will be another current. But Mom's got one ready. She has got a current events ready. I mean, I'm barely going to have to say it. She's got me reading one thing. That's all I'm going to be doing for the whole broadcast because she has got this. So you guys, please pay attention to her current events, and also real time, real faith. Is that what it's called?
Real life.
Real life. Why do I'm saying real time?
Real life.
Real life, real faith is our new show. I forgot to talk about that, and it's so good. You guys really check that. It's on Tuesdays, and Charlie also has got his own day.
It hasn't. It was
is
not
it not
started yet, but
he's going to be. So we're going to have a Charlie show.
and he does go live on
every
Tuesdays.
Week. He goes live on YouTube
and our House of Destiny Facebook
and the House of Destiny Facebook every Tuesday. So those of you looking for Charlie Jordan, bass player behind my dad, every time he prophesied, they were doing that together. He is fantastic, anointed. We love Charlie Jordan, and he's got his the Charlie Jordan show. They should call it that. They're not calling it that, but I think they should.
It's about the prophetic. So
Base the Lord is his.
No,
that's not what they're calling it. That's what his name is.
That's
stuff.
name.
Base the Lord. Mm-hmm. But okay, I'm going. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.
My name is Jane Clement, and I am the president of the House of Destiny Network.
My name is Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am the Vice President of the House of Destiny Network. My dad used to have a thing called $5 in your face offering. And he did that because he understood that sometimes people might be sitting there saying, well, I only have a little bit to give. But I often use the analogy of a car engine. You know, everybody feels like maybe they're not too important, or maybe their little part they're playing is small, or what can I do as I see these things going on around me? And you may think that that's a little bit, but it's a huge amount when we come together and support one another. And so just as little as $5 can help us with our missions. It can help us with just keeping these prophecies, all these prophecies that came through my dad, coming to you. And it takes quite a bit to be able to find it and edit it and present it. And so there's a whole staff of people that work very, very hard to make sure that we can get this information to you. And it is vital in this season because of what was prophesied. And so, again, you may feel that $5 is not much, but it's something. And then you are a part of something and a part of doing something where you may feel like it's, you know, there's nothing you can do. There is something you can do. You can support the people who God has put at the front lines, who are actively making a difference.
I first met Kim in 1978. The price of gold back then was $200 an ounce. Today, it's gone up to $2,000 an ounce.
I can tell you inflation is a real thing because in a very short period of time, just living in the state of Tennessee, I had moved from California. I could see the difference when I moved here, just in the grocery store, and since 2020, the way prices have risen, it's not much different than when I lived in California now.
To schedule a consultation with Beverly Hills Precious Metals, go to bh-pm.com and make an appointment today.
One thing about Mike Lindell, and this is going back to many, many years, we like to support people like him because, number one, he's a Christian in the marketplace, which is something that my dad not only prophesied a lot about, but really truly believed in. And so for many years, our ministry has supported Mike Lindell for being a Christian, but also supporting one another. It makes us stronger against those big tech people who are backed by billions of dollars, that together we can make a difference and get a message out there.
By using the promo code Kim Clement, you're not only supporting Mike Lindell, but you're also helping us reach the unreachable, touch the untouchable, and reach the world with the gospel.
This was sacred to God.
Now is the time to act.
This is exactly why I need some action from my people.
Hello, everybody. It's an honor to be with you.